Hello and welcome back to Epa Worldwide. My name is Maladaptive Godwins and I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner, a single mother of two boys, a proud divorcee for that matter, and I have survived parental alienation. And as a result, we have this channel, Epa Worldwide, which simply means educating public on parental alienation. On this channel, we talk about mental health, we talk about parental alienation, and you will also see things about myself, like how I live my life, personal lifestyle, and stuff like that. Some of my content most of my content are for educational purposes, to raise awareness, and also students. Sometimes you will see content that students may benefit from. A content like this is a concept that psychiatric nurse practitioners would need on their exams, because you need to be able to assess. When they give you a scenario, you should be able to identify the defense mechanism type that they are using in the scenario they gave you. So yes, let's dive into it. Today I'm just going to list a few of them, few of the defense mechanisms. So let's get into it. So what is defense mechanism? Defense mechanism is an unconscious psychological strategy that individuals use to numb or get rid of their anxiety, or get rid of an undesirable feeling about themselves, or a situation, an emotionally discomfortable situation that they are experiencing. They use defense mechanism different types to make them numb themselves of the feeling, the undesired feeling about their situation. So you use the unconscious psychological strategy to get rid of any negative emotions. That could be guilt, that could be anxiety, that could be undesired emotions, that could be anger, that could be depression. Like, you just want to get rid of that undesired feeling. And so you use these strategies to try and help yourself, so you don't feel, or you don't get to deal with the real feelings associated with the situation you find yourself in. Then you tend to use these defense strategies. Example, avoidance. Something happened to you. You didn't like it, right? So, like maybe dating. You've dated, you've been married, you have all kind of things happen to you during that process. As a result, you don't like it. You don't want to deal with it. So guess what you do? You just stay away from dating, period. You don't want to be involved with any opposite sex. You have some same-sex people that didn't start off as same-sex marriages or same-sex relationships, but as a result of what they have experienced in heterosexual relationships, they tend to use avoidance, stay away. A guy wants them, okay, I'm not doing this. They stay away from their perception that this happened. Try to date, be in a regular relationship. This is what happened to me, so now I don't want to deal with it. So they use avoidance, and so they tend to something else. That is one. The other one is displacement. Displacement, it's a defense mechanism that you are upset at somebody, and you're upset at somebody or upset at a certain situation, and then you displace it on somebody else. A typical example would be like, you went to work, something happened at your workplace, and when you came home, you end up having an unnecessary argument with your spouse, or you displace it on your children. Did you do your homework? Instantly you are angry at them. That is called displacement. So these are things that will actually cost you a lot of relationships. They are maladaptive ways of dealing with your own anxiety, your anger, your emotions, and stuff like that. So the next one we're talking about is dissociation. When do you see dissociation? Dissociation really is not entirely negative. It's not entirely maladaptive. Example, you are very angry for failing an exam. You are very angry of your failed marriage. You are very angry that something negative, something that your child has done, or something negative has happened to you. As a result, you dissociate that feeling from your current situation. You dissociate it and put it aside and numb yourself with maybe meditation. You meditate, you don't internalize the situation, but you meditate, you become subconscious, and then you replace it, that negative feeling, with like with imagination, imagining positive thoughts, imagining sitting at the stream side by the pool, imagining all these beautiful streams, imagining the woods, imagining nature. So that is dissociation. You are dissociating the negative thoughts and feelings associated with what is going on with you emotionally and what is causing your anxiety. You're dissociating it from yourself and your thoughts and your being, so that you can focus on something positive that will help you feel relaxed, help you feel less upset, help you get rid of the anger you have related to the situation. That is what dissociation is. Dissociation is not entirely maladaptive. It just helps you to dissociate, to separate your thought, your mind, and your feelings and your emotions away from the present situation you are in, and do something else that will replace that and makes you feel more relaxed and not feel angry. Are there situations where dissociation is maladaptive? Yes. Like you really have to engage with your spouse. You really have to have a conversation about the undesirable feelings and thoughts you are having. Or you really need to talk, open up to maybe a friend, a family, somebody you have a disagreement with, and you need to open up. You need to be assertive in that situation, so that you use the right communication mechanisms, confront the situation and deal with it, get rid of it, so that you can have a healthy relationship with this person. But rather you tend to, I don't want to deal with it, so you kind of separate yourself from the situation and you replace it with things that will make you feel happy and not worry about it. And I always tell my clients, you don't have to let situations stay till it piles up. You need to deal with them. You need to solve them. You need to solve them as they come, as they develop. Else it piles up and it becomes unhealthy, and it can cause you relationships. It can cost you a lot in life, and you don't want that. So that is what I'm trying to explain or communicate here. So with dissociation, it's when you are like in a relationship with somebody and there's an issue and you need to solve it, and you are checked out, you are on your phone, you are doing something distracting, something that will make you not engage in communicating with the person. Like, you know what, I'm not giving this person a second chance, I'm just done, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. So use dissociation. You dissociate yourself from the emotions, from the stress, from the argument, from the person, from the person, the situation. I think it can be used in a healthy way to cope with, to solve conflict, to solve a conflict situation. Like right now you are checked out, but you dissociate from the argument, dissociate from the situation. Okay, I'm not dealing with it, but then you come back later when temperatures or tempers are calmed down, and you come and face it. So that is also another way you can use dissociation. Okay. The other defense mechanism that I want to talk about is projection. The adaptive way of projection is like you've been through divorce, and so when you see somebody that is also going through divorce, you are more empathetic, you're more understanding, you are more willing to offer a helping hand, you understand the emotional, psychological, physiological issues or distresses that comes with having to go through the legal system, or you have had a knee surgery, so you kind of feel like, okay, this is how it is, this is how the pain with that is. As a result, somebody's also going through that, so you are more empathetic about it and willing to, or you offer a helping hand, like, okay, I'm here, if you need me, I got you, that kind of thing. So that is one way of dealing with projecting. So you are projecting, you just because you were, this is how you felt when you were going through these similar situations. So you assume this is how the person is feeling. So you project those your feelings in the past on them, but in a more healthy way, that okay, this is how they are feeling. Let's be more supportive of them. Let's be more encouraging of them. Let's extend more of a helping hand to them. See, so that is how projection goes. And then this is the adaptive, this is what I just explained, is the adaptive way of dealing with of projecting. However, the maladaptive way is like you dealing with a cheating partner, right? They know they cheat on you. They know that all these things, you know how narcissists, they've done something but they make you feel guilty for it. They accuse you of it. That is how the maladaptive way of projection goes. Like somebody has cheated, they have done all kind of things, or they hurt you in a way that you wouldn't like. So guess what they do? Your partner projects those acts, those things they have done on you, so that the camera is not directed at them, so that the energy is not directed at them, the accusation is not directed at them. So they displace it like this, they project it this way onto you, their partner, so to make them feel ease, like, oh, I don't want to carry this burden, I'm gonna make sure we even this out. I cheated, you caught me, yeah, but because I was late from work, and in fact they were cheating, right? So now, oh, now you're coming from work late, so it means you are also cheating. So that is how projection goes, because somebody has done this. Like if maybe somebody cheated in their marriage, right? They cheated in their marriage. As a result, their marriage failed. So soon as they get somebody else cheating, and soon as they hear somebody else is getting a divorce, and that is associated with cheating, they quickly leave their past and assume that all the things, the crimes they have committed in relation to fidelity, is what they assume and project it on this fellow, and think that person is doing it. So they come and crucify the person, they come and judge the person, they come and attack the person, they come and do all the horrible things that people are supposed to be done, like they don't deserve, but it gets done to them because they have cheated. So, well, I'm going to support the failure of your marriage. I'm going to support that your husband or your wife divorces you. I'm going to make sure your life is miserable. I'm going to mock you. I'm going to drag you in the mud. I'm going to make your life a living hell. And we have seen this on Facebook recently with Kora Obidi. In most instances, people project on her, oh, she's cheating, she's cheated, she's this, she's that. Majority of the time, and some of the stories I've discovered, it turns out that the people that are projecting and dragging her and pulling her and this, like crucifying her, they have also cheated in their marriages, and as a result, they are projecting on her. In another instance where people were projecting on her is people coming, oh, your child is this, you are a horrible mother, you are feeding your child 24/7 with peanut in the morning, early in the morning with peanut butter and jelly. You are feeding Junie with peanut butter and jelly in the morning. As if in their homes, they feed their children hot meals every day. And if you pay attention, Cora has also said many times that she don't even like giving a child cereal, because she thinks that it's wrong to have that amount of sugar, fructose, artificial flavors with your cereal, or that comes early in the morning. It's not healthy. It makes you become sugar addicted. So I don't think that feeding somebody high protein peanut butter is a wrong thing in the morning. And we need that protein for your brain to function. But this is just an example of parents that have, oh, we're calling CPS on you, this is what. But I brought, if you came to our YouTube Facebook page, which you should consider following us on Facebook, EPA Worldwide, I brought a social worker on the page to talk to us and educate us on the CPS system, what the CPS looks for. And it turned out those are not some of the things they look for. You understand? Because she explained to us that practice has changed. So what in your 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, as a female, 50 years today, the things you have done in your past, you did. that caused CPS to hop on and take your children away, that as a result you are projecting on her, this should happen, they should crucify her, they should take her children away. Systems has changed. Systems has revolved. Practice has changed. There has been research, there has been evidence that moving children away from homes caused more trauma to them than keeping them in their homes and providing support. So basically, it's a way of projecting your own guilt. You're projecting your guilt, your disappointment, your frustrations, your anger on your partner in relation to things that you are actually guilty of. That is how projection goes. Okay. The next one to talk about is splitting. And I will tell you this, I am guilty of that, okay? Because I don't give second chances, all right? You will see splitting with perfectionists. People who are perfectionists, who have perfectionist traits, you see splitting with them. It's either you are perfect or you are not perfect. It's extreme, two extremes. So soon as they perceive or assume that this is who you are, this is what you're going to do, boom, they separate themselves from you, they separate themselves from the situation, they separate themselves. It could be an employment, it could be a friendship, it could be a church relationship, it could be a new engagement. Quickly, they split themselves away from that situation. And that is how splitting works. So the splitting, it has to do with not giving second chances. Because you perceive things, perceive something happened like this, and this is the nature of which it happened. Next minute, like, let me give you a typical example. A typical example is like you're talking to somebody, you are married, right? And as whilst you were married, every time, like phone, everything has lock on your phone, or your partner's phone. And it turned out that the partner is cheating on you with this phone, with another person, and that is why he has these locks, or she has these locks all over their phone, and they don't want you to access it and all that. So eventually you went ahead, you had a divorce, you separated from this person, great, but you got exposed to another person. As a result, whilst you're getting to know the person, you realize that they have the same habits, the same pattern. Then you now associate the pain, the stress, the anxiety, the paranoia that came with having to deal with a partner like that. You separate yourself from this person because you don't want to deal with those emotions all over again in a new relationship. So quickly, you don't give this person a second chance to even assess and to even get to know where they stand in terms of this phone usage and these locks and these codes all on phones and stuff like that. So you separate yourself from them. That is what splitting is. So truth be told, I think that splitting is one of the unhealthy ways of using defense mechanism. It's an unhealthy example of defense mechanism, because you don't even try to make the situation work. You don't even try to work it out. You don't even try to be a little bit more patient and take care of things. Imagine you separating yourself from every situation. Can you imagine having to go to work? Every time you find a new job, something happened and you quit. Every time you find a new job, something happened and you quit. No, you must make sure that whatever is unhealthy in that environment, you are taking steps to talk about it, bring it to management attention, you bring your grievances up, try and work it out in a more professional way if it's a working relationship, so that you can keep your job that you love and not have to be hopping every time doing new paperwork on a job, and just stay where you are. Really, that's it. So repression is the act of not being yourself, something you don't like, but that's something you would rather have, but you have allowed yourself to repress your desires in acceptance of others. That is something that society has taught us. So your natural instinct about somebody, like you see an adult, even as no matter how much threat you sense with them, you first of all, as a cultural person raised from Africa, is to first and foremost give them that respect as an adult. So you are repressing your instinct about this person. Why is this person at my door? Why is this person knocking on my door? What is going on? Who is this person? You are repressing that instinct to dive into investigating and finding out who are they and what are they all about. Rather, you go right at respecting them first, giving them that accord as an adult, as culture and society expects or requires of you. And that is repression. So that will be the adaptive way. The maladaptive way of using repression is as a result of what you did. You could be harmed because you use the adaptive way of dealing with using repression. You have prevented yourself from questioning this person. What do you need? Who are you looking for? Rather than being open to them and just bending down and worshiping them. The next one to talk about is denial. Denial is an adaptive way, and it's also not adaptive. It's maladaptive. The adaptive way of using denial is, you know what? You have something horrible happened. Death, a miscarriage, you failed an important exam, something major like that happens, and then you go straight to the grieving, the denial. You denying yourself the feeling, the acceptance of it. You deny, using denial to, no, this can be me. Is that my child? You use that denial to fight off the edge, the feeling, the mental breakdown, the psychological impact of the situation on you. However, is that going to remain forever? No, because the situation has to be dealt with. So until you accept, you go through all the series involved in accepting the situation, you cannot be healthy, because psychologically you're going to remain having to deal with this specific situation for the rest of your life. But when you are able to deal with it and not deny yourself of dealing with that feeling or that emotion, it helps you to do what? To become somebody that will be able to live a psychologically healthy life, because you'll be able to derive strategies and steps required to deal with this kind of situation at hand. All right. My latest one, and the favorite one, and one that I spoke about before, which is something that came about also with this channel, is sublimation. Sublimation is a kind of defense mechanism that you have anger issues, you have anxiety issues, you have a feeling of guilt, you have a feeling of undesired emotion, but you channeled it into doing something positive, which is where this channel came about at. I went through trauma. I have been abused financially. I've been abused emotionally. I've been abused psychologically. Worst of it, I have been abused by alienating me from my children for many years. And eventually, my children also suffered some of the consequences, like parental alienation syndrome. As a result, instead of using that energy, the anger, the pain, the frustration, guess what I did? I set up a channel like this, Apple Worldwide, educating the public on parental alienation. And I channeled that energy into teaching. If you look at my earlier videos on the channel, you will see how emotionally it was draining in some instances. Some of the time, it was just hard to just come up and start talking about the situation. But God pulled me through. So you use sublimation to numb those feelings, numb those emotions. And as a result, you channeled it into a positive energy where you can bring about the change. Example of that is like you have somebody whose child died from gun violence, or somebody whose child died from a motor vehicle accident. What do? That person, after going through the denial, the bargaining, all the phases of grief, got to the point of acceptance. After acceptance, they go even further to the point where they become the sublimate. They use sublimation to go to the communities, go have a channel, go somewhere and start public or community service where they are preaching the good news about how you can stop gun violence, how you can be a healthy teen, You can practice healthy driving among teenagers, how you can, live a life and be a responsible driver as a teen. So you start teaching. So you have classes. You build classes for children in the community, children ages 16 and up or 15 and up, when they are trying to, just a class that they will teach them in their schools, in their churches, in communities, in preparation to them getting their driver's license, so that they, as a result, they know how to become safe drivers for themselves and for the society at large, because if they are not safe, others will not be as well. See, that has brought us to the end of this topic, defense mechanism. So these are just few of the defense mechanisms. In the next video, I'm going to give you some more, examples. So we will be back here soon. All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification. Till I see you again. Ciao.